The events described in this story occurred at different times for different members of the same family. I met this family and convinced them to tell me their story. This strange incident happened with 4 members of this family. Hello, my name is Harrison, and I am conducting research on paranormal incidents. I want to become a paranormal investigator in the future, and I am currently preparing for that. I take notes on paranormal activity that occurs around me, and I discuss strange occurrences with people in the hopes that this will help me become a paranormal investigator in the future. So I met a family today who informed me about a paranormal event that happened to them recently, and I decided to start a record of these occurrences. Let's figure out what happened to them. Mr. Williams lives in this house with his wife and 2 children. Their older son, Colton, is 15 years old, and their younger son, Nicole, is 12 years old. Nicole, the house's youngest and brightest member, describes what happened to him as follows. We bought this house 6 years ago, and after a few months, strange things began to happen in this house. As a result, household items began to deteriorate. First, the TV was damaged, then the fridge, and finally, the air conditioner. As a result, other things in the house started to fail. Everyone was surprised to know why all of these things were happening in the house. Then I went to bed in my room one night. I dozed for a while. Right at that moment, I became aware of the sound of someone strolling in the upstairs room using loud, heavy footsteps. Thack, 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 thack. I was thinking that since no one goes upstairs, where is this sound coming from? I told everyone in my house about it the next morning, but no one paid attention. Hearing this, I began to believe that something similar had occurred, and I went back to sleep in my room that night. Around 2:30 a.m., I felt as if someone had climbed onto my bed. I opened my eyes and looked around, but no one was there. I then realized it was a dream and fell back asleep. A few days later, some of my relatives visited us for the holidays. They also had 2 children the same age as me. After dinner, all of the kids came to my room and began scaring each other by telling ghost witch stories. One of them, Archie, declared that he was not afraid of ghosts and began boasting in this manner. Dean, Archie's elder brother, stated that if he was not afraid, he would go alone into another room where a small light bulb was torching. Archie said, "What's the big deal about this? I'm going now." Archie went to that room and then ran out of it very quickly. We saw him walk out. We burst out laughing and began making fun of him. Then Archie began to cry and became completely drenched in sweat. I was so puzzled by everything that I asked him what had happened. He trembled and said, "I saw a man there who was wrapped in a black blanket, and he was leaning as he walked." Telling this, he started crying louder, but I managed to calm him down and get everyone back into the game. After a while of playing, everyone fell asleep. But everything that happened to me and Archie was going through my head. I went to the balcony to think about all of this. When I looked down, I saw the same man that Archie had told me about. He was slowly approaching our car, and then, as he got close, he suddenly disappeared. After this incident, I became scared and began sleeping with my father. For a few days, everything was fine. I didn't hear any footsteps and never saw that man again. I assumed everything was fine, but I was mistaken, because such incidents began to occur with my elder brother, Jackson. This was Nicole's story. Let us now hear what happened to Jackson. He described the incidents that occurred to him in this manner. My family members slept inside the room, while I slept on the couch outside in the hall. I couldn't sleep despite my best efforts, so I started walking around the house like this. While walking, my gaze was drawn to the main gate, and I had the impression that someone was standing outside it. I went to the gate to look, but no one was there, so I went back to sleep. The next day, around 3 p.m., I went to the second floor for some work. As I was walking, I felt like someone was following me. I looked back 2 or 3 times, but no one was there. I heard something falling from behind as I was going downstairs. I looked back and saw a black shadow on the wall in front of me, and she vanished as soon as I saw it. I jumped in terror and sprinted downstairs. I spent the following night sleeping in the hallway. In the middle of the night, my eyes opened unexpectedly, and seeing what was in front of me, my condition had reached a point where nothing was coming out of my mouth. I tried to scream, but couldn't even if I wanted to. Her face was so horrifying that anyone with a weak heart would die just by looking at her. Her tattered black clothes and hair were slowly flying through the air, and she was about a foot above the ground and staring at me. I began to read my prayers in my head, but my prayers had no effect on it. She stared at me for 2 or 3 minutes, then went up the stairs, and I had no idea when I fainted. The next morning, I woke up and immediately rushed to tell my mother everything that had happened. Nicole also arrived and stated that there is something wrong in this house, and I also saw a man dressed in black and heard someone walking in the night. After hearing this, Mother was convinced that if both of them are saying this, then something is seriously wrong. The next day, the mother called a priest from the church and told him everything and asked him to purify the house, which the priest did by going around the entire house and purifying it with holy water. While I was sleeping that night, someone picked me up from the sofa and slammed me on the ground so hard that I broke my straight arm. To the sound of my screams, my entire family woke and began asking what had happened. Someone slammed me down hard and broke my arm. I cried. All of the family members were terrified after witnessing this. And the next day, we went to our uncle's house and told them everything. He said, "You stay here for a few days, and we'll figure out what to do after that." The first 2 days went well, but on the third day, something happened that I can't believe could ever happen. This was Jackson's claim. Let's hear what happened on the third day, which was hard to believe and told by Nicole and Jackson's mother in this manner. There was no one at the house on the third day as I sat on the sofa watching TV. I felt as if someone was sitting by my side while watching TV, and when I looked to the side, my senses were blown away. A man and a woman dressed in black sat beside me. I couldn't move or speak, and both of them were frighteningly smiling at me. Then they both got up and went to the kitchen, not knowing where they were going from there. When my husband came back home from work that night, I told him everything, and we all became upset once more that such incidents occur here as well. Everyone else had slept through the night, but I couldn't. I began to worry more about the children than myself, that they should never see anything like this again. When I woke up at 1 o'clock a.m., I smelled gas and suspected that it was leaking. I went to the kitchen to investigate. Everything looked normal when I arrived, but as I turned to head back to my room, I heard a voice call out to me from behind. I turned the phone back and saw that no one was there. I dashed to my room because I hadn't gotten any sleep that night. The next morning, I told my husband, "We should do something. What is going on?" He stated that I would be going home today with the priest. Mr. Williams invited a learned priest to his home, and he related everything that happened up to this point. After arriving at his residence, the priest stepped inside one of the rooms to check on something. After looking around the entire house, the priest concluded that there are two different kinds of demonic powers living here. Husband and wife, and the soul of a small child wonders who died in this place many years ago. But my concern is that two demonic powers, only they can harm your family. There is nothing to be afraid of others. When I heard this, I was terrified and asked the priest to help me solve the problem. The priest stated, "I will come after I finish my special worship. Until then, I will give an amulet to your family. This amulet will guard your loved ones from harm. Those souls will be visible to you, but they will not be able to harm you." The priest told me that in order to combat these evil spirits, I will need to make some necessary preparations. I returned to my family, gave the amulets to everyone, and told my wife everything the priest said. After a few days, the priest had finished his special worship, and I took him back to my place once more. The priest retrieved a small pitcher. He started a fire and put something strange in it, and a strange smell spread throughout the house. He then sat down on the ground and took 5 lemons. After reciting the mantra, he continued to place each lemon in a bag in turn. Every time the priest uttered the mantra, those of us there began to feel a peculiar restlessness, and our bodies felt heavy. The priest declared that there was no longer any cause for concern when he had finished placing all of the lemons in the bag. "Put these lemons in a location where they can't be reached by anyone." Then he left. Then I threw those lemons in a nearby canal and went home. As the filth subsided, the atmosphere of the house became lighter, and it appeared as if there was so much peace in the house. That evening, I called my family. Nothing like this has ever happened in the house since that day. Here is the strange thing that happened to Mr. Williams' family. I had to document a number of similar incidents that occurred with various people in various locations. Stay tuned with me.